Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ditch Witch Diaries. We are here with Kitchen Bee Witchery, and we are in the herb department again. We've circled back around, and we are going to start off with the lovely Raven. And so tell us, what's your first herb?
All right, so we are starting with mint.
Woo-hoo!
Now, I do want to start. Oh, hold on. Screen is loading. There we go. So, I'm doing just kind of mint family in general. There's a lot of mints in the mint family, but I found that a lot of the history and stuff didn't really differentiate between a lot of different types of mints, like between peppermint and spearmint and stuff. And we did talk about pennyroyal. Was that, I think that was for one of the chakras. I don't remember though. So we did talk about that. So I'm kind of just talking about the mint family, but this is peppermint right here, and then this is spearmint.
Awesome.
Okay.
So,
the botanical name is just the Mentha family. The parts used typically are just the leaves, and then I didn't really find any folk names other than the specific name, so other than like peppermint and spearmint. So it's mostly just mint and mentha. Okay, so the three most common varieties of mint that we see are peppermint, spearmint, and then pennyroyal once in a while. Again, there's a lot of other ones, but peppermint is typically the more like medicinal variety. This is used more medicinally, but it can be used in like flavoring as well. And then spearmint is typically more used as culinary. Again, it can be used medicinally, but typically we find peppermint is more medicinal, spearmint is more culinary and like flavoring, like toothpaste. And then pennyroyal, which we already talked about, typically is not used internally. It's used very externally, especially for like bug repellent and stuff. We talked about pennyroyal and how pretty much the only internal like ingestion used for it is abortifacient. And then that was when I had like the whole slide that just said abortifacient with a heart.
yeah. Abortifacient.
Abortifacient.
Abortifacient. Pennyroyal.
So, yeah.
Exactly. I love all these herbs that are like, yeah, that's what we do.
Pennyroyal and wormwood.
Yeah. Add it to the list. So in 2018, the US produced enough peppermint oil to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So the peppermint, or the US produced enough peppermint oil to create over 5 million pounds of peppermint oil. And it's primarily cultivated in California, Idaho, Indiana, the Pacific Northwest, so Oregon, Washington, and then Wisconsin. And the peppermint just in general contribute about 100 million to the US in export trade. So big like moneymaker for the US.
Wow.
So as far back as the 1620s, physicians have been recommending it for like mouth issues. It's been used before then, but specifically in like the 1620s and on, we find it used for like oral reasons. And so it said that you can rinse your mouth with it. You can rub mint on it. You can also mix it with white wine and like vinegar and rub that on your gums and your tongue for oral issues. And then you can also use dried mint, grind it, and use that powder for teeth and gum diseases, and that's supposed to be beneficial. This is why it's believed the first like generation of like toothpaste was always peppermint flavor. So the ancient Egyptian papyrus, which was around the Ebers Papyrus, so 1515 BCE, which is, as you may or may not know, one of the oldest surviving medicinal texts. And it says that mint is used as a digestive aid and also to soothe flatulence. And then in ancient Greece and Rome, mint was used often for funerary rites and also to scent the body because it's so potent. I mean, the smell is so strong that it can like cover up the smell of the decomposing body. And then I think we'll talk about this later, but you can also use it, or people also put it onto like grave sites and stuff, again tying into this like mortal death kind of thing. And then Pliny believed that when you apply it to your temple, so like you basically kind of put it in some water and then rub it so that some of the oils get on your fingers mixed with the water, and then you kind of dab that onto your temples. It's supposed to help with a headache. So then we have the use in ancient Greek. So Greek physicians taught their students that mint can keep people from vomiting blood. Once again, if you're vomiting blood, maybe go to the doctor, but you know. So it's supposed to help with vomiting blood. And it's also, they also said that it was an abortifacient. So not abortifacient, but birth control, that it could be used to help from conceiving.
I think that's more scary.
Early...
I think like if you're don't use mint as a birth control. Otherwise, you're going to be using pennyroyal as abortifacient.
Yeah, exactly. if anything, I guess use both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't rely on.
You can never be too cautious.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. Maybe
all
in addition to your birth control.
Exactly.
I say yes, definitely use the mint. Also, anything else you want.
Also, anything else, honestly.
Like everything else.
Yeah. And so then what else? Oh, and then in early Europe, the entire plant was considered useful. So they even use like the roots and stuff. That has since died out. Most people don't use the roots anymore, or even really the stems. Most people just use the leaves. But they said that in the late 1500s, it was suggested that mint juice was helpful to like purge your body of poisons, and especially blood poisons, because it encouraged circulation, especially if eaten raw. You could still eat it like cooked, but eaten raw is supposed to be good. Again, if you're poisoned, maybe don't just rely on mint, but in addition to, is good. And then the mint powder, again, so you dry it, you grind it, and then you can use that powder and consume that to help get rid of like intestinal worms and stuff. And then you can also mix this powder with milk and then give that to infants. Allegedly, I don't know anything about babies, but allegedly you can give this to children.
Allegedly, it's not bad.
Allegedly.
Well, that's what I heard.
Then, yeah, just based on what I've heard.
I don't think it'll be bad for kids.
I don't think it'll be bad for them.
No, yeah. I think it's.
I never want to like.
Peppermint oil is super soothing for your stomach, and so if it's in something, I can't imagine that that's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can put peppermint oil on the skin of infants. I think I remember seeing that in a movie.
A movie,
potentially. I like to tell everybody I don't have kids, so I'm not going to tell you what to do and not to do with your kids, because I don't want to be responsible for something.
Because I ain't your kid's mama.
I am not the parent, yes. And so then we have Tobias Veneer, who in 1620 wrote that it's really good. He said, doth greatly comfort the brain and spirits, stir up the senses, especially the memory, and make the heart cheerful. He also, so because it's good for like memory and stuff, he said it was a good study drug. So if you're trying to study that, you should like incorporate mint. And what else? Yeah, and studious people. Also, I mean, I don't know if we necessarily need to talk about this now, but a lot of times I find that people include mint variety in like nighttime tea or like calming tea. I find that mint is not calming to me. Mint is very uplifting and very like energizing to me. And so I do not know why so many people put it in nighttime teas and like sleepy time teas. It's so weird to me, but because that does the absolute opposite.
Yeah,
I think the soothing will help them get to sleep.
Maybe, but I feel like it's soothing to the body, but energizing to the mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Me too.
Yeah,
I agree.
So. Weird. Then we have our good friend Nicholas Culpeper, who we've talked about numerous times. He said that it could help with 40 different ailments, mostly stuff we've talked about. So like teeth, gums, mouth, stomach, blood issues, all kinds of stuff. And then in the general history of plants, which I want this book so bad, I saw it in when I went to Salem, Massachusetts. I saw like one of the original ones.
Wow.
And I want it. But anyways,
you're crazy when you get it in your head. You might just
I know about a book.
I'm going to get one. I have found replicas.
I cannot wait to see that book. That is going to be a great book.
I know. It's so good. I have like pictures of it. They're like, don't take pictures. And I was like, okay.
Sure.
Sure thing.
Yeah. I'm sure that I will never be able to like afford an original, but if I could find a replica that's also kind of like tattered and stuff, I feel like that would be a good find.
We'll see what you find then.
Yes, I'm determined at some point. And so he said that it was basically good for the stomach, which we haven't talked about too much yet. We'll get to that with the medicinal properties, but yeah, really good for calming the stomach. Actually,
yes,
Jake. So like for the viewers, my partner is an anesthesiologist, and he very much does not believe in like aromatherapy and stuff. However, in med school, they teach that peppermint oil is medicinally good for the stomach, and I have to be like, I told you. But so he even keeps like this tiny vial of like 100% like pure actual peppermint oil for people who cannot take like anti-nausea medication.
Oh.
Yeah, so he keeps it like in his little bag. I also use it like when I get really nauseous when I'm menstruating, and so I like dab that all over my wrists and like smell it. For it to be medicinally, and like research shows that for it to be effective, you're supposed to smell it for about 5 minutes before it'll help. So just taking like a whiff doesn't seem to help a lot, but if you can like put it on your body and like continue smelling it for about 5 minutes, then it's supposed to be very helpful. Okay, so then we have the legends. So one of the most famous legends of mint is a Greek legend, and so Hades, it involves Hades, who is the god of the underworld, and he was married to Persephone. Most of us know the story. But he had a lover named a Minthe, who is a nymph, the nymph Minthe. And according to this, he was having an affair with her. Persephone found out, and she was very angry and transformed the other woman transformed Minthe into a lowly plant who grew like close to the ground and who didn't have any scent, and was very pale in color. And then Hades couldn't undo the curse, and so in order to, I don't know, try to make the situation better, he turned her into a vibrant green and gave her this very pleasant smell, so that every time somebody crushed her or stepped on her, she would emit this powerful smell.
Oh,
how lovely of him.
I know. Coming to the rescue of his lover.
Yeah.
Must have fleed
and so then yeah. Then we know that a lot of times the Greek and the Roman myths very much mirror each other. And so in the Roman, instead of Hades, it was Pluto. And instead of Persephone, it was Proserpina. Is that how you say that? Proserpina. But same general idea. What else? Oh yes, we kind of already talked about this, but in ancient Greece and Rome, mint was used to mask the smell of decay, and so it was placed all over the bodies and in the rooms of the bodies while they were being prepared for burial. And then it was also planted and put onto graves to offer as an offering to like the spirits of the person who had died. And then in medieval Europe, it was spread all over the churches and then planted around churches and monasteries to help purify the air and ward off evil spirits, and probably witches. I would imagine them saying that as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's always that way, isn't it?
Yeah. Mint totally repels witches. Use it for that.
Yeah.
Some folklore, though, says that you shouldn't
actually
eat
you
it
look
while
out, there's
you're
a
wounded.
gaggle of witches picking your mint.
Yeah, picking mint.
Exactly.
So some lore says that you shouldn't eat it if you're already wounded because it can like stop the healing process or like worsen inflammation. And it's believed that this stems from how mint is very cooling. And so it's believed that if you're like cooling the body while the body is trying to heal a wound, that it's going to slow the healing process. You want that heat to help like heal. And so a lot of people said that you shouldn't consume it, but you could still use it externally. Some people say you should stay away from it altogether. It was also used as a food preserver, and especially dairy. So mint contains menthol, which is antibacterial, antifungal, and so this can help like slow the process of spoiled or milk spoiling. And so Culpeper says, divers have held for true that cheeses will not corrupt if they be either rubbed over with the juice or a decoction of mints, or they laid among them. And so, yeah, it's believed that if you add mint to like milk or cheese, that it'll stop it from spoiling. I don't know about that, but prolong it maybe, but I don't know about stopping it.
And I've never had like mint milk, but it begs the question. That sounds kind of rad.
I have. It's actually good. I had it like when I was still eating or like, you know, consuming dairy, and it's pretty good. It's kind of like I don't know, it's very like mint and chip flavor, just without the chip part. It's pretty good. It's like refreshing. And I don't like chocolate, but I've heard mint chocolate is also very good.
I bet. I love mint chocolate.
Like mint chocolate chip ice cream, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that I already kind of talked about, and that was my extra. That was like my notes slide. Okay, so actions: antispasmodic, stimulating, and stomachic. These are the big ones. It's also like antibacterial that we found, but mostly it's used for as like a stomachic, and again, stimulating. Like this was from. Not Back to Eden. What's the other one that's the 2 parts?
Grieve.
The Grieve book said that it's stimulating, and
modern herbal.
Yes, modern herbal. Thank you. I do not like it at night. So
yeah, you know what? If you want a nighttime help for your stomach, like chamomile actually is incredible for a hurt stomach.
Exactly what I was gonna recommend.
I also like ginger. I don't think that ginger is very stimulating, not to me at least. I feel like ginger is a good one for anti-nausea.
Ginger's very good for anti-nausea.
It is. Yeah. Although when I was pregnant, nothing could stop the nausea, so I overcame it.
Gross. Like, don't say that word.
What? So it overcame it. So it's hard. Like some of those things that I had during pregnancy, like raspberry leaf tea, it's hard because I just was so sick with them. They're just so associated with glitter.
Yeah.
But not mint. So mint's an available one to me. I never did mint during pregnancy, so
nice.
It's available.
Interesting.
And same with chamomile. Maybe that's why I said that.
Yes, I do enjoy chamomile. Okay, so I couldn't really find a lot on the associations. I always have problems with correspondences, so we'll kind of circle back to that. But I do associate anything that is very fragrant. I associate with air. I think that's like a quality of air. Like lavender is very much in air, and so I would associate mint with air. And so air is for us, I know we all associate air with like communication and like giving your voice. So if you're trying to do some type of magical working with throat chakra or communication or anything that's kind of airy, I feel like mint would be a good one. Some people say that they use it to attract wealth, luck, or love. I don't really know if I would agree with that. But I don't know. I like
it. Did you get luck or love from SC?
From what?
Scott Cunningham.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh, I was like, who? Me too.
No.
I was like, what?
I
Who are you referencing here?
I am I know, I was like,
I don't even
Like
look in
I
his
luck,
just
book.
like
I don't even look, and unfortunately, like,
no, I don't
don't
I
even
no,
got
I
rid of
know,
his book. I don't even use it.
I know.
But I imagine that a lot of people, a lot of like witchy magical people who like post online, I assume reference him, and so a lot of them probably get it from them.
That's yes.
I don't really believe in luck, and so I don't really do any workings for luck. And
Yeah.
so it's also kind of like weird. Like, why would I do a working for luck as opposed to doing a working for the specific thing that I'm looking? I don't know. It just kind of
I just want to
whatever.
be lucky.
if you
I
gamble.
guess. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess but then I would do a
Luck
working
and
for like
gambling.
money and not luck.
People
But
have
I
like
don't know.
gambling money. It's luck. Usually luck is like huge in gambling. Like you want to be
That
lucky.
makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I again
Or if you're
wouldn't
going out
yeah,
to do
wouldn't have thought of it
something that
either.
like required, like let's say you were going out to a bar and you really wanted to find a woman and you want to get lucky. Not like even lucky in the bedroom, but just like you wanted to be lucky in your pick. Like not like maybe you just wanted to have like I could see like luck is huge for Sagittarians though. Like luck is like
Okay.
it's a big deal.
I mean, I know that luck is like a lot of people do a lot of stuff with luck. But then again, I would do working for like meeting somebody who is like a good pair or like who has good conversation or whatever. But I mean, I could, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you work with luck, potentially mint could be useful.
There you go.
Yeah. Also for cleansing. And so I do like it for cleansing space, counteracting negative energy. I think that when we're looking at like the medicinal properties, which we always talk about, tying it back to medicinal, it's good for like cleansing of the mouth, and it's good for calming the stomach. And so I can definitely see it for like cleansing as well.
Tied
And
with
then
air
some
too.
people,
That's tied in with
huh?
the air too. The
Yeah,
cleansing is tied in with air too. So
agreed. Yeah, agreed. And then some people talk about using it for prosperity. And I'm not sure. I know that a lot of like even I sometimes will associate prosperity with like green. And so that might be the reason. I don't know if there's something specific about mint
Well, earlier
other
in
than
your
the color.
slideshow, you said that it like brought like $100 million worth of
Oh yeah, that's
export
true.
economy.
and
Yeah.
it like it's like if you want something to grow and prosper and dig in and never
Yeah, and
go
that's
to
gonna
leave,
go and go
like
and go.
mint, just like the nature of mint, like don't
Abundance
plant
and
mint in the
prosperity.
ground. Otherwise, like, and I've like lemon balm is
Yeah,
family. You'll never get rid of it. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
yeah.
You'll
Yeah. I don't seem to have that problem. I can't get anything to spread. But yes, I could see that.
Oh.
I mean, people say the same thing for mugwort, right? Mugwort
I've
like
got
just spreads like
mugwort that
wildflower.
will.
And
I've
I'm
got it growing everywhere. I pull it out. It's
yeah.
just like it's everywhere. They're huge too. Like
Um,
they're like my mugwort is
mm,
like literally like it's
massive.
huge, 4 feet.
Nice. So I did find some like things online. So protect your money. You can add some dried mint leaves, nutmeg powder, ginger, and cinnamon to a small bag and keep in your wallet. However, we have talked about the problems with this. We've talked about the problem with cinnamon and the spice trade and all of this stuff. So again, I would not use it as this, but I did find a lot of stuff talking about using mint for money. And so you could do mint, you could do powdered mint by itself. You don't necessarily need all the others, or you could mix it with some of the other herbs for like money that we've talked about that don't have such a yucky past. So you can steep mint in hot water and then use it as like a floor wash to help cleanse your space. I think that it would also make your floor smell good, which is a good thing. I found a couple people say that you can slip a mint leaf in the sole of your shoe to like help like cleanse your path as you're walking and as you're you know moving around town. I don't know how I feel about stepping on a fresh mint leaf all day, but I could see some powdered mint. I'd be good with that.
All sweaty.
And then you can also what?
It's all sweaty.
Yeah, and just like
And then you have to pull it out and
yucky.
it's all wiggly and
Yeah, and it's
That
probably
doesn't
like
sound
torn
good.
apart
You're
now
right.
and no, thank you.
Yes.
And then
Powderless.
you can burn it as a loose incense for cleansing. If you want to purifying with sage, we've talked about sage before. All of us are cool with burning sage, but if you are the person who does not want to burn sage, then you can use, there's a plethora of other like herbal cleansers. I did find this, which I thought was pretty cool for an uncrossing blend. So it's mint, rosemary, and hyssop. And then you add Epsom salt. They say to just drop it in, I love a good bath. And so they say to just drop it in the bath. I don't like doing that. I've talked about this before because I don't like to clean up my bathtub. So I'll get cheesecloth and just make like a little steeping bag out of the cheesecloth. I will just put like Epsom salt in the water, but the herbs I would put in a little cheesecloth or something. You can also take that powder, the blend mixed with the salt, to drop it. I don't know if we've talked about like sweeping mixes, but basically you dump it on your front porch or like your doorstep, and then you like sweep it off to help that. You could also potentially put it under like a front door mat or something. So again, I associate it with air. I did find one person associates it with the plants. Let's supposed to say planet. With the planet Venus. But that was pretty much it. I would associate it with the throat chakra, as I've said before, because it's very like air-like.
Or the heart chakra.
But I don't know. What do you think about chakras and zodiac?
I've heard people say the heart chakra, but because the heart chakra is air too, like it's yeah. But it could be go either way. And zodiac, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't know what it's associated with. Barrel doesn't give you any hints. No. Okay, let's stop. Let's stop sharing. Stop sharing your screen for a moment, and then we can pause for a moment, and then we can go back. That was a weird little clip. Okay. We will see you at the next Ditch Witch Diary.